Alright, so talk to me a little about your week. Pretty much consistent to where you were the previous week with what you were doing?
As far as I'm concerned, it was a little bit better because, like how I've been doing the bedtime versus morning. And last week, I had 4 nights where I went to bed over my goal weight.
Okay.
Where this week I only had 1 night where I was over the goal weight.
Okay, good.
And that was mostly because I was like determined to eat everything I'm supposed to eat. And I was like, I got to get all of this food in, and so here it is, close to bedtime, and I'm still eating my fruit.
What about exercise?
Did good. Yesterday, I finally finished the whole workout.
Good.
Which is kind of why I'm sore.
All right.
Yeah. Miss Thing here decided we're not going anymore. She just went on strike. It wasn't a case of you're pushing it too hard. It was more like I'm not going anywhere, and then I realized her leg was giving her trouble. So I just let her sit out while I did the walking, and then she'd sit with me if I was working on the machine. So that was pretty much how it went. And then every now and then I think I'll walk with you this time, but it was getting slower and slower. So I figured let her sit it out if her hips hurting her that much. So.
What about Colonex? You're doing 1 pill every other day, or okay? And bowel movements are moving okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah, it's starting to turn green again. So.
Okay. All right.
But that's been working pretty good. Not as sick as I was before. For some reason I got really sick, and I don't understand what that was all about.
Okay.
But it's starting to get closer to what it was like before I had the surgery. So I'm just thinking that the surgery is going to make this thing completely out of whack, which is to be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I didn't even get to the computer much yesterday. I didn't even log yesterday's food, but it's been
So what's going on with your son and his girlfriend?
They got into a fight, and sounds like they're broke up, but I'm wondering how much, because some of her stuff is still at the house, and he's not, get rid of it type of thing. He's not doing that, so I can tell he's pretty hurt over the whole thing, but it's just, you got a couple of kids who just don't know how to control their temper.
Oh.
Type of thing. It's one of those, she's a girl who yells and cries, and I came home Friday, and she yelled and cried at me, and that didn't rub too well with Michael. And he's like, why are you even crying? There's no reason to be crying. And I've raised Michael to be more logical versus emotional. And, it's not a case of we don't allow emotions. It's just, if an emotional situation comes up, you look at it from a logical point of view versus emotional, then you're more likely to be able to handle the situation better. And his ex-wife kind of messed him up on how to behave with women, so he's a little more rough-edged when it comes to women. And so, but Gabby was one who was more willing to take that type of temperament. But it was one of those, I'm not even sure what all happened. I know they took off to go to the party night at my sister's, and the next thing I know, Gabby's back with a box and a friend, saying we got into a fight, and I'm going to be gone for a while.
Where's she originally from?
Here.
Here, okay, so she has family here?
Yeah, she's got family here. It's one of those, her family, you thought our family was kind of screwed up. We're dealing with Asperger's, probably bipolar type of issues in the family line, which probably led over to her. And you could see it, but not really, really bad, type of thing. But you know, like I told Michael, I says, when you're dealing with somebody with those kind of issues, they're gonna be a lot more emotional. And if you're not an emotional person, I'm just forewarning you. I'm not saying she's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying, be prepared.
Okay.
You know, type of thing. And if you're willing to deal with that issue, then it's all out. You know, and it's just like my mom is. I'm thinking my mom's bipolar or something, you know, because her mood swings are so dramatic. And here she is in her 70s, and she's just now trying to figure out how to control.
Well, how are you doing with her being out of the house?
It's quiet. It's kind of unsettling because it's just too quiet around the house, you know. And I can see a big difference in Michael's moods, you know. And there's times I can see how much he's hurting, you know. Of course, as a mom, it hurts me, type of thing. I miss her because she's the only one in the house who actually gets me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is like when I'm cleaning the house and I buy this shelf and I'm trying to figure out, okay, we need to organize, you know. The guys are like, it's a shelf. Who cares? She gets it. So it's like, here's your cleaning supplies for the windows. Here's your cleaning supplies for this. Here's your cleaning supplies for that. And here's the tools. We have too many tools. So I was like, I guess I get another shelf. So, you know, she gets me. You know, and it's one of those, I'm kind of on the OCD side, but I'm not allowed to really do anything with it. You know, and she allows me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I like her for that, you know, and she's creative, and I like to be creative. You know, and Michael's creative too. He's you know, you're picturing a Marine, big and burly, and he's trying to build muscle. So now he's trying to gain weight, but more of the muscle kind. And he's back to working out with the weights. He used to do over 100 pounds per arm when he's working out, and now he's like 85 because the military wouldn't let him do that kind of stuff. And he, you know, so you're picturing that with a sewing machine. You know, he likes to make his costumes and stuff like that, and he's made a couple. And every now and then he'll say, "Hey, Mom, how do I do this part or how do I do that part?" And it's not perfect, but it's kind of fun to watch him get creative and stuff like that.
So, you know, how long had she lived in the house?
Before we went on our trip in July.
Okay, all right. So it's not like she was there, you know, through the course of like last year through Christmas and stuff like that. Okay.
No, it's just
right.
been.
Right.
Yeah, sometime during the summer, Michael discovered that there was a situation at home, and he more or less just rescued her from that.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what happened.
All right.
Right now, I think she's with a friend, but I don't know.
All right. So let's have you take off your jacket. Let's get your weight.
Got a story about this one.
Yeah, I'll get your. We'll have you take off your Christmas jacket too.
When I first started my sewing business, we had a Christmas exchange, and a gal made that, and that's what I got. But cool. I couldn't get it on because I was too big. Whoops, stuck to me.
That's all right.
I was too big for it. So now I can get it on and I can close it, but it's still a little bit.
Okay. $236.4. You're down a. Oh wait.
Up.
Up a little bit.
I'm confused because last week.
235.8. 236.4.
I'm confused. I was down a pound at home.
Okay.
I was getting all kinds of excited. I was like, "Oh, I'm down a whole other pound."
Do you have anything to eat or drink this morning before you came in?
Of course, then again, if I remember right, last week I was having to make several trips to the bathroom.
Right.
since I weighed myself and when I came in here.
Yeah, I remember what you saying that.
Yeah. Well, this morning I wasn't doing that, so that could be what it was.
Okay. So tell me about your plan for Christmas. Yeah, I'm less concerned with the weight. I mean, you're going to have some variability in your weight, especially last week if you had a lot of bowel movements that day. So I'm not overly concerned, given that you're still down from where you were 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's not like you retracted back up, so that's
I
good.
was like, I know, I've been good.
No, that's fine. So talk to me a little bit about your typical plan for the holidays.
Well, he said he wanted ham, and I found a turkey ham. So we're gonna probably go with that, but I don't know what else you guys want. Probably
What do you
some
guys
green
typically
beans.
do? Not from a food perspective, but from just an overall social perspective of what you do Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, day after Christmas, leading up to the New Year's. So what's been the typical process in the house?
Usually we'll go over to my sister's, and she'll have a big dinner or something like that. We all open our presents over there, and you're home for Christmas this year.
Don't know for
Or
sure yet.
Christmas Eve. No, Christmas Eve you're home. Yeah, we don't know if he's home for Christmas this year. And at home we might fix a nice dinner, you know, type of thing. Usually it's like you know, like a ham or something to that effect, and maybe some potatoes and gravy, green beans. Gotta make sure he gets green beans and salad and cranberry sauce. I'm trying to think what else we have. Might have some stuffing.
He's not actually looking at the food
Yeah,
aspect.
I'm
He's
just
looking
trying
at
to think
the
what all we do, but we don't do a whole lot. You know, we'll have a meal, not quite as big as Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Thing. We don't have a lot of presents, you know, in our little group, but we'll go over to my sister's, you know, there's usually some more. I just got done buying some more presents for some friends. Their dog passed away, and they're devastated and all that kind of stuff, so I bought them, you know, some stuff to hopefully get them through it, you know, type of thing. Nothing exciting.
Okay.
So
nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that would make it challenging where you could have a massive weight gain or anything like that.
No, we don't do a whole lot of baking. You know, there's a possibility that my mom might give us a tin with some cookies and stuff like that in it, and she's just kind of funny. She complains how nobody appreciates it, and then she makes it, and everybody loves them. But yeah, and it's like I said, it's usually not too big. It's usually a box about this big with a few little things in it. And I'm not in the habit of eating it all at one time anyway. It's like a piece or two per day, and that's about usually my limit. Christmas, you know, well, it might slow down in the line of customer orders because the school's closed during that time. Between Christmas and New Year's, school's usually closed for that time. So, been trying to get videos done, and not just like one of the things I've been trying to do is, you know, do a video about what it's like to have a service dog. So I've been taking my camera and going to various places where I normally have a lot of rude people who are all over her, asking 1,000 questions, children abusing her or trying to, you know, that kind of thing. You'd think I would get some when I have my cameras ready. No. Not one. The worst I've had is we were walking through the mall, and one kid was up on the balcony yelling down, "I got a dog like that." That was, you know, one extent, and the other one was two little kids about so big going, "Hi, doggy." And one insisted that she could respond because he saw it. That was the extent of it, and I was like, so much for that plan.
All right. So here, you know, typically you're at the end of the year, right? And this is a time where a lot of individuals, by choice or whatever have you, or by social circumstances, want to take a break, right? And say, you know what, I've been going at this for a while. I need to take a, and need to kind of get a little bit of R&R and then restart this January 1. Not a bad thing. It's more concerning if people did that the week of Thanksgiving all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you were able to get kind of back on track, get motivated, and you've got some momentum going. I think for you, that's why I was asking a lot, what do you typically do? What's your social circumstances looking like? That you probably should stay that way through the course of the year, right? It's okay, especially next week, to take a little bit of a mental break, given it's Christmas, it's holidays, all those kind of things. Where Thanksgiving, it's typically just one day, right? Well, Christmas typically bleeds over into the New Year just a tad bit, and so most people will like to say, all right, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go. Maybe I won't exercise as much and be a little bit more or a little bit less rigid, and that's okay, right? And so I think from that perspective, for you, it's to maintain what you're doing, given that your situation is not all that different from what you're currently doing, right?
Yeah, there's very little change in
right,
what goes on
right.
in our house.
But it's not necessarily a bad thing to say, you know what, I know what I need to do. I've been doing it now for a while. I'm confident that I can continue on, right, over the next few weeks, and then be able to resume that first full week in January and begin to kind of hit it hard. We kind of get that reset, regeneration. You're reinvigorated to be able to mentally sustain it, because everybody else socially is already pressing. That's what we should be doing, right? So it's not a bad thing. I'm going to be out next week, most of the following week. So we're looking at early, that second week, well, the first full week of January is when I'm going to be resuming patients. I will see some patients on Monday, but I am already fully booked. And then the following Monday, I'm already fully booked as well. Most people are either out of town, whatever have you. But again, I think the benefit of what you're doing, I can see that remotely. I will get on and intermittently check during the holiday period. But for you, I think the good thing is you kind of got reinvigorated a week ago. And so I think for you to maintain that through the holiday period is equally important. Celebrate the holidays for what they are, obviously, but also get in your exercise, do all the appropriate things that you should be doing, and then we'll, touch base. We'll kind of resume that first full week of January, if you're okay with that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm just happy to be able to get back into the gym.
Yeah.
You don't know how happy I am for that. It's just like, and yesterday was my first time I actually managed to complete the workout, where before I haven't been able to do it. Oh, and then I had one of the military people who's, serious workout type of individuals. He saw me with her yesterday, and he says, what happened to the other lady that she belongs to? I said, what other lady? Well, there was another lady that used to come in with her, and I'm like, there's just me and my husband. We come in, and he's like, you're the other? And I'm like, I lost 75 pounds. You don't even look like you. And that's just somebody who sees me. I don't know who he is. He is somebody who sees me, and I guess my appearance had changed so dramatically that he didn't even. He thought maybe we were sisters or something like that. And he didn't know.
But here's what and this is where I think, I really stress this with a lot of patients this time of year, right? That a lot of the patients that started, January or winter of last year, right, is reflecting not only on how much you've lost, but also reflecting on how much you've improved emotionally, psychologically, behaviorally, all those kind of things of the past year, right? Recognizing how much you've grown. Right? Not only from losing weight, but how much you've grown emotionally, psychologically, even from an internal strength component, right? And then that's where you say, okay, this is what I've set myself up to be able to do, right? I feel great about this. I'm stronger. I'm all these things, right? Now it's going on to the next phase, right? Recognizing those kind of things in January, I'm going on to the next phase. For you, it's getting to that century mark, right? It's getting not only to losing 100 pounds, but also shooting to get below 200 pounds, right? You've done a lot in the first year, right? And yes, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? But the reality is you're far closer to your goal now than where you were 12 months ago. Right? And I think that's how you kind of have to look at this, right? Is, you know what? I'm only 35 pounds away from being at 100. You know, a year ago, I was 113, right? And so I've only 35 pounds to go. I'm only 22 pounds to go from 100. You know, I mean, realistically, if you approach it from that kind of mindset and that kind of a behavioral goal perspective, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to hit that by spring.
Yeah.
Right? Far better projection, far better, you know, confidence in climbing and moving and progressing towards that goal than December, or I should say January of this year. 113 pounds ago, right? And I think that's kind of how I want you to view that is, you know what? I can get this by spring, right? I can get this by spring. I can be a total of 113 pounds down. Right? Yeah, it took me a little bit over a year, but that's still pretty dang good. That is
better than I've done in years.
Right, and I think if you look at it from that perspective, that's about 30%, 30 to 33% of total weight loss. Right? That is a tremendous amount. Right? But when you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Right? You're 75 pounds down, right? And when you think of it from that perspective, that's 25%. Right? 25% weight loss. That's great. Right? Now we want to get you to 30 to 35% weight loss, right? That is a third. That's 100. You know, 75 pounds. That's a fourth grader, right? We want you to lose, you know, a little petite 100-pound, you know, freshman or sophomore, right? That's what we're wanting you to do from an overall weight perspective.
Yeah.
Right. I had 2 patients this year that hit that within. Well, one person lost 101 pounds in 7 months.
Wow.
Right? But she was a very big individual, starting at 450 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Blood easy
But
for
still,
them.
6 months, right, to lose 101 pounds. Right?
Yeah.
And she still has a long way to go. But losing 101 pounds, that transformation from a perspective of what that looks like, huge. Huge amount. And it's the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I know I came across the outfit that I was wearing beginning of the year for Biggest Loser for the roadies, and I came across it and I had it on and I was like, dang, and I was like, I think when I get to the anniversary date, I'll put it on just to show the comparison.
Right.
Because before it was like I barely fit into it, and now it's like very dangly on me. And so I thought I'd do that, and Shay's already talking about doing another contest or challenge, not a contest, another challenge after the new year, so everybody get that past that. And it's another diet bet. Don't like the diet bet. And of course, you know, Biggest Loser starts at the base.
Yep.
So, and they had me do a end of the year weigh-in, but they haven't told me anything what happened after that, so I don't know what the story is with it.
So I want you to go and have a great Christmas holiday.
You too.
All right, or New Year. I got your insults here for you.
Yes.
All right. And let's look at that week of January the 8th. So January 6th is our first full week. And I can put you in. You want to do 10 a.m.?
Sure.
Any questions for me?
You planning to have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I am. Typically we're gonna go to my in-laws. I'm gonna leave Christmas afternoon. It's about a six and a half hour drive.
Alright.
They live out in New Mexico. So, I think for us, I didn't want to go down Christmas Eve, mainly because I didn't want to have to haul all the presents and then
Mhm.
haul them all the way back, right? You know, I think, you know, plus Santa only comes to your house.
Yeah.
Right? So, that's how we kind of position it with our boys, and so we, you know, we don't want them to, plus our youngest has never experienced Christmas from home. And so we've kind of started that with him, as we really enjoy being Christmas at home. You know, while they're young anyways. When they get older, obviously we can go, but I think, you know, the reality is we like to spend Christmas at home, keep it small, keep it, you know, it's not as stressful. And that way, you know, we'll go down Christmas afternoon, get there by Christmas evening. So that way they can still open their gifts, and we can have a Christmas breakfast, and then just kind of pack up and go.
Yeah.
So.
Make it easier on
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I like Christmas small.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't buy a whole lot of presents, and there's been a couple of times where we adopted a family.
Yep.
And
We've done that in the past. Yeah.
gotten them whatever. We had one family where my son was in Cub Scouts, and he was all excited because we bought them a turkey, and we actually had 4 cars full of stuff, and this house was not much bigger than the room. It was just a very small house, and there was 11 people living in there. And the girl that met us at the door, she was just a kid, and she was pregnant out to here, and it was fun watching the sea of blue uniforms just carrying all this stuff in there, and they couldn't
Yeah.
even walk into the kitchen by the time we got done. But they had clothing and food and you name it. And it was just kind of nice to watch it make their Christmas.
Absolutely.
For that, so.
Yeah, I think it's important. We intend to do that with our boys when they get a little bit older, where they can appreciate, you know, what they have and what they get, and then that way they also understand about being altruistic and giving back and so forth, because, you know, I think it's important, you know, for them to, you know, you live kind of in a bubble, you know, safe bubble, and seeing that, you know, outside the bubble is not as safe. I mean, like the last Friday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you can always adopt a military person too.
Yeah.
And,
You're absolutely
and
right.
You can write, you know, there's one where you can, you know, just send them letters or a gift or something like that, and then there's, since we're close to Buckley, you can adopt one where they can come to your house and have Thanksgiving, you know,
Oh, wow, yeah.
have a meal with you and stuff. And my son was adopted when he was in Singapore. Him and a bunch of his buddies, they had a family that adopted them, and he was able to Skype home. You know, granted, it's 2:00 in the morning,
Right.
but it was really cool to be able to, you know, call home and say hi, how you doing,
Yep.
that kind of thing. So it was nice. So yeah, but
Well,
our Christmas has always been small, except, you know, we go to my sister's for one
Exactly.
afternoon, and that's it.
Yeah, we like to keep it small. You know, like just more and less enjoy the day, enjoy what it's about, and you know, just spend time with family and friends. So, well, I wish you guys a very Merry Christmas, okay, and have a great, safe New Year as well. And we'll plan on resuming, you know, that first full week of January.
Okay.
But stay consistent with what you're doing. Enjoy those few days, obviously, and then keep doing what you're doing, and then we'll, you know, really begin to push in January.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so this is for you, okay?
Thank you, sir.
You're more than welcome.
Appreciate it.